To mark the 102nd running of the Indianapolis 500, in this week's brand new episode of Hill Climb Monsters in Project Cars 2, the Dallara IR-12 takes on a Azure Coast hill climb course. But can it dethrone Senna's Lotus? Let's go find out. What's going on, guys? My name is Batilio and welcome back to Project Cars 2 and a brand new episode of Hill Climb Monsters. And this week's challenger, as you can see on screen, as we've already mentioned, is the Dallara IR-12 Indycar from 2016. And the reason we've decided to do this, or I've decided to do this car, obviously, as I've mentioned, it is the 102nd running of the Indianapolis 500. And I'm a big fan of IndyCar. I watch all the races and have done for quite a few years now. So yeah, I wanted to do this, and we've got the what would be in the game, the Ed Carpenter number 20 livery, and we've got this one because Ed Carpenter, as many of you might know, actually took pole position for the 2018 Indy 500, so it seems fitting to run with this livery on the car. But yeah, take a look at some of the car's stats now, and fairly impressive, I'd say, considering it's got a V6 engine and a 6-speed sequential gearbox bolted to it, rear-wheel drive of course. That's good enough for 740 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds at a top speed of 200 miles an hour. No assist, no stability control, traction control, ABS, none of that gubbins. One of the things it doesn't mention it having here, of course, is it does have well, a KER system, or as they call it in IndyCar, a push-to-pass system, which we're going to talk about in a moment. You can see the control difficulty there, so top end on either the control difficulty and cornering speed, and I can attest to both of those. But yeah, in terms of setup and practice, the big thing about this car is trying to wind off or to loosen it up a little bit, which sounds a little bit weird, but this thing, when you get it on one of the the stable setup in the very least, it is just wound so tight. It really is a challenge just to get it through the corners. It does have a lot of downforce on the car already. You're gonna have to wind a lot of that off. I think I'm running 7.5 at the front and 9.5 at the back, and it was up to about, I think it was like 14 and 16 when we started, so I had to take a big chunk out of it because it just has way too much weight in the wheel, and it's so difficult to get through some of the slower speed corners with a wheel as heavy as that. It almost feels like there's like no power steering on it. I don't know if these cars have power steering. I assume they do, but it kind of feels like with the stable setup that there is no power steering, and you're really having to work it out and work the car to try and get it through some of the slower speed corners. So trimming off the downforce was one of the big things. Softened it up a little bit as well, just to help us through some of the bumpier sections, because if it's, like I said, if it's wound too tight, then it's just going to be rigid, and when you come over those bumps, and there's a lot of undulation on this course, then you are going to start breaking traction, and that is going to lead to some fairly hefty accidents. But yeah, I mean, I trimmed off the downforce, softened things up a little bit. I do have the sticker red tyres on there as well. The other big thing in terms of practice and setup was figuring out where to use the push to pass, because you can only push it 10 times on a run. So unlike what they've got in IndyCar now, which I think is 180 seconds worth, but you can use it any way you want. You can do 1 second here, 5 seconds there, 10 seconds there, 3 seconds here, and so on and so forth. This, once you push it, it'll run it all the way down, and then you'll get another go, basically. So figuring out where to use it and how to use it and where to maximize it was a big thing, and it took a little bit of figuring out, but I think we got there eventually. As you would imagine, though, there were a few accidents here and there. Well, the big ones that we had in practice were at the Magic Roundabout. Now, you can take quite a bit of curb on there, but I was almost in two minds going through the Magic Roundabout in practice, whether to do it in 5th or 4th. And I think that might have led to the accident. I stayed in 5th, maybe carried a bit too much speed, took a bit too much curbing on the inside, and that led to a fairly big accident there. And then I think I went the other way. I think I didn't take enough curb, and I just kind of ran it out wide. It clipped the end plate of the front wing off, and then there was just no turning. I think I may have damaged the steering also in that accident. So yeah, that pretty much put paid to that run there as well. But yeah, so we're going to take a look at the run in a moment. Before we do, let's just refresh our memories with regards to the leaderboard. So on our leaderboard, first of all, as you can see, the Lotus 98T from the previous episode still leads with a 6 minutes 11.818, and I think, looking at the leaderboards, I think that's realistically what it has to go up against. Even though there's a big gap, there's about what, 30 odd years between the two of them. I think realistically that's what it has to be aiming for because it is a single-seater. The only other single-seater we've got on here is the 1970 Lotus Type 49C, but I think it should beat that. So yeah, it's going to be a test 6 minute 11, a very quick time. If we do beat that time, we have a good possibility of getting onto the actual full-blown leaderboards because the bottom time is a 6:09.254. So if we beat that, we're going to get onto the first page of the leaderboards. As you can see, it's all dominated by Formula X there. So that's the aim. If we can get onto the first page, that'll be good, and that will guarantee us top spot in our own leaderboards. But yeah, so we've taken a look at the practice and spoke about setup it now. What we're going to do is we're going to head down to the track and we're going to see how the Dallara IR-12 gets on our Azure Coast hill climb course. So let's do it. Here we go then, guys. Dallara IndyCar on our Azure Coast hill climb course, and as you can see, we're already on the push to pass for this first run, first part of the run itself. As we make it through Booty Curve and down through the Senna S's. Don't get the line right exactly how I wanted it to, but we make it through okay as we come down to Cruise Line corner. A little bit of a lock up on the outside right there. But we make it through okay, down into second for Traffic Cone Corner, and then we're back on it again. Going to get it up to fourth gear before we again get on the push to pass for our run down towards the Magic Roundabout and Stickman Squats, and we get it down into fourth gear, take a nice healthy amount of curbing on the inside of the roundabout, and we're back on it again all the way up to sixth gear. Then we're going to come down to third. And I'd been umming and ahhing about going through here about in third or second, but I don't know. I think maybe second gear is maybe the better gear to go through. It gives you a little bit more push off of the corner, so to speak. But once again, back on the push to pass as we make our way down the Happy Highway. And it's important on the Happy Highway not to push it too early. You want to get to the barrier at the very least, because otherwise you're not going to have enough. It's going to run out before you get through Traffic Cone Corner. As we come through here, absolutely flat out. This is the first car I've had, I think, where I've been absolutely flat out, not even having to lift at all. We're going to get it down to fourth as we come through here and down towards Stonewall Corner. And Stonewall was a little bit difficult, especially through this section here. There were times where it would just, for some reason or another, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but it would just it's almost like there's no air going over the front of the car. It feels like you just lose all front downforce. I'm not sure exactly what the reason for that was, and we do get it at another part of the lap. But coming through Ice Cream Cove now, this is one of the more difficult sections. You can see I'm having to wrestle the car really sore at the wheel just to get it where I want it, and I think it might just become, it's a very bumpy section of the course, as we all know. But coming up now towards what would be James Bay Corner, the run down towards there. And again, just having to be a little bit gentle through here to make sure we don't lose the back end. Get up to third, and then we're back down into first. But don't get it exactly right there. Maybe run it a bit too deep into the corner, but we make it through there okay. We're going to get up to third. We're going to come through here near enough flat out once we've got the car settled again on the push to pass as we come through the end of the first sector and up towards Silver Spoon Village. Get it down to fourth gear through here. You have to be okay through the first crest, but the second one you have to be a little bit careful because you can unsettle the rear if you maybe take a bit too much power through there. Through Danger Curve and onto Outrun now, up to sixth gear, and again on the push to pass. And this thing was an absolute dream through it, absolutely flat out, no need to lift at all as we bring it down into fourth to get it through Fraggle Rock Corner, and we're back on it again, coming down now towards what would be Bridge Corner. And again, very good through here. This is one of the few cars we've had that can go absolutely flat out through here. I'm not even sure I could do it in the Lotus, but again, this is a much more modern car with people who designing it have a greater understanding of downforce and how it works and how to better maximise it and so on and so forth. But as we come into the Montgomery Hill Complex, we've still got half of our push to pass left. But we're not going to be using it through here because I think I mentioned it in the build-up that a couple of these hairpin corners with the braking zones being on or just after crests, if you're on the push to pass, then you're never going to get it slowed down. You're just going to hit the barrier and it's just going to be game over. And I had a couple of occasions where I did it down into this corner especially. We're going to get it down to third gear. Again, you can possibly see you can maybe take it in second there, but I opted to go in third. It felt right at the time, but you can definitely do it in second as well, and it's still, I don't think it would cost you too much time. But as we come over the first and second humps on the Camel Straight, and then down into fourth and then third for the first of the Mirage corners, down into second for Mirage 2, the much tighter of the two corners. And again, just have to get it settled down again, and we're on the power once more down towards the end of the Montgomery Hill Complex, and this big jump here Again, get down into the brakes, get it into second gear for this one. Maybe take a little bit of grass on the inside just to help bring the car around and through that corner. Again, just be gentle over here. Just find that apex and just let it drift out just a little bit, just to maximise the speed on the exit. And then we're over this next hump here. Again, as soon as you've got it down and settled, we're going to get back on the push to pass for this next very, very quick section onto the Great Ocean Highway. And again, we take a bit of curb through there. I was clenching a little bit when we came through there because I thought maybe we would have taken a bit too much curb and settled the car, but it just took it in its stride. And away we go again. And like I said, through this section, I knew this section would be where this car really found, came into its own because of the downforce that it provides. Very, very good through the faster corners. A little bit of curb on the inside there, but it's okay. We don't invalidate the lap and we keep going. But like I said, this car is just, it's an absolutely fabulous car to drive. It really is. It says control difficulty 3, but I think maybe 2 is more apt because it is a fairly simple car to drive. Once you've found that happy middle ground with regards to the downforce, then where you're going fast but you're not trimming too much speed off in the straighter stuff, then I think you're golden. There's not too much work you have to do with the suspension. You just have to soften it up a little bit, work with the roll bars and the third spring, which is something new I've only seen in this car actually. But as we come up towards the back end of the lap now and on towards the rocky road, again, on the push to pass, we're going to use it pretty much back to back, all that we've got, because we know we can pretty much take most of these corners near enough flat out and at very, very high speed. Again, just get it settled through there and then on it again, and then up towards the penultimate corner. And with a lot of cars, you do have to get out of it, but with the downforce this thing provides, we don't have to worry about understeering off into the barrier on the left-hand side. Through the last corner, get on the push to pass once again, down towards the line, and it's going to be a time of 5 minutes 54.2. So absolutely brilliant time from the Dallara IndyCar there. I knew that it would give the Lotus a good run for its money. I believed it would, but to beat it by what, 16, 17 seconds is absolutely out of this world. So we've got a brand new leader at the top of our Hill Climb Monsters leaderboard, and it is the Dallara IndyCar. And like I said, guys, this car is absolutely brilliant to drive. Very well settled. Brilliant through the faster corners. A little bit of a struggle sometimes through the slower corners, but it is an absolutely brilliant car to drive, and I highly suggest you go and try it. But in addition to topping the Hill Climb Monsters leaderboard, we've also done what we wanted to do. We've broken the monopoly on the first page of the full-blown game leaderboards as well, because we popped the IndyCar up into 7th place with that time there. It's actually showing as a 5:54.199, don't quite sure why it does that, but yeah, we've broken the monopoly. We've put the IndyCar on page 1 of the time trial leaderboard. So again, I'm really happy with that lap and that run. I do think maybe I could have got it a little bit quicker. I did make an error at James May corner, maybe ran it a bit too deep, but I don't think I would have found 2 seconds, which would have got to go up into 6th place or maybe even higher. But either way, I'm very, very proud of that run, considering it's like 21.5 seconds off the top time, which was a Formula X car, and someone done it on a controller, which is kind of impressive, I think. But I'm very, very happy with that time. The only other time in terms of the IndyCar was on page number 3, and they came up with like a 7:06, I think it was. I haven't got it in front of me, unfortunately. I will put it on the video just so you can see. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with that time. So fantastic. Can't really say anything better any more than that, and I highly suggest you go drive this car because it is a lot of fun to drive. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. And once again, for back-to-back weeks, we've got a brand new leader at the top of our Hill Climb Monsters leaderboard. So absolutely fantastic. But like I said, that's all from me today for this video. So thank you everybody so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, you would like to see more Project Cars 2 or just general racing content from myself, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for cars you would like to see me drive in this series, make sure you leave a comment down below. If you do and I like your suggestion and I use it in a video, I will mention you in the video. So that's a pretty good incentive. You could be YouTube famous like Martinio. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. So make sure you leave a comment down below if there's a car you'd like to see me drive on our Hill Climb Monsters series. But yeah, once again, guys, thank you everybody so much for watching. Stay cool, and as always, I will catch you in the next video. Peace!